morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to thank our lovely friends at the lovely Pokegym.net. And we need to talk about the Fusion Strike FAQ. Pokegym have gone and published the FAQ as they do for every set, and that means we need to chat through the rulings, explain them, and have a little bit of chat about it, like we do for every set. So shout out to the lovely folks over at Pokegym.net who are awesome for publishing this so we can know the rules. And I say this every time, but it really is incredibly important to point out. If you're going to play the Pokemon trading card game, you are going to need to know the rulings. If you are going to be playing with Fusion Strike, you need to know these rulings. So start off then with abilities, as we always do with Chandelure V Max. So Chandelure's ability says, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent cannot play any Pokemon tools from their hand. Well, in the same set, we've got a new Maractus. Who doesn't love Maractus? And Maractus has the attack Ditch and Shake. Lets you discard any number of Pokemon tool cards from your hand, dealing 50 damage for each card you discarded in this way. Well, if Chandelure stops you attaching tools, will it stop Maractus? No! Because Maractus isn't attaching tools, it is discarding cards from your hand, and that is a very different thing. Inteleon V Max is one of the best new cards from Fusion Strike, and it's got the redonkulous ability, Double Gunner. Discard a water energy from your hand, and then you place 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Can you do this if your opponent only has 1 bench Pokemon? Yes, although obviously you're only dropping 2 damage counters on 1. Can you do it if your opponent has no bench Pokemon? No, because there's nothing to do with the ability. And this is actually really important, because you might need a water energy in a discard. Maybe you've got a Melanie in your hand that you want to play to attach the energy because you've used your attachment for the turn. You cannot use this ability just to discard a water energy. And as I mentioned, you might genuinely want to do so. You've got to be able to do something, but you can just hit 1 bench Pokemon, not 2. Now, Toxicity comes in as a Fusion Strike Pokemon in the set with the rather nice ability Maximum Downer. If your Pokemon in play are all Fusion Strike Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon V Max lose 30 HP. Well, if I've got multiple Toxicity, does that mean I'm bringing it down by 60 for 2 Toxicity, 90 for 3, etc.? Oh yes. Remember the rule, when abilities can't be used more than once, I'm thinking of the Oricorio in the same set for instance, it says it on the card, you cannot apply more than one of these abilities per turn, because it doesn't say that you can't, you totally can. Now Swampert comes around in the set with a kind of nice ability until you realise it's a stage 2. Sorry Swampert, don't mean to be mean. But what you do is once during your turn, you may attach a water energy or a fighting energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Okay. Well, remember in the same set we've got Goodra and that new Slimy Room ability that says when your opponent tries to attach an energy card from their hand, they flip a coin, and if tails, they discard it instead. But that doesn't use your energy attachment for the turn, you can try again. Okay. Well, if Goodra's Slimy Room ability is active, and I use something like Swampert's Moneymaker to attach an energy, and I flip tails, and remember you have to flip because you are attaching from your hand, can I try again with another energy card? No. You see, when Goodra's up, if you flip tails when attaching for the turn, you haven't used your attachment for the turn, it says it on the card. But if I try using Swampert's ability, I am attaching from my hand, so I have to flip. If I flip tails, the energy goes in the discard, but I've already used Swampert's ability, and there is nothing on Goodra to say I haven't used my ability, so even though my attachment for the turn won't be used up if I flip tails, an ability like Swampert absolutely will be. What about Goodra? Let's talk about Goodra. Now, we've already talked about the Slimy Room ability. If it's active and I try and attach an energy but flip tails, can I try again? Yes, we've already talked about this. It literally says it on the card. It doesn't use your energy attachment for the turn. Okay. If Goodra's active and it's got Slimy Room, Do I have to flip a coin to attach an energy to one of my Pokemon that already has a Fusion Strike energy attached to it? For reference, Fusion Strike energy is that new one that you attach to Fusion Strike Pokemon, and it prevents all effects of abilities done to the Pokemon with Fusion Strike energy attached. And the answer is yes, you do still have to flip, because the Slimy Room ability is acting on the player, not the Pokemon. And Fusion Strike energy stops abilities done to the Pokemon, whereas Slimy Room is done specifically to the player. So let's say I've got Goodra with Slimy Room, last one on this one. If I try to attach an Aurora energy to one of my Pokemon and flip Tails, do I still have to discard a card from my hand? Because remember, you've got to discard a card from your hand in order to attach Aurora energy. No. Because the flip happens before the attachment, and Aurora energy you discard when you attach. So you don't have to discard another card unless you flip heads and get to attach it. Now, Espeon V Max is coming in this set, although it is only coming as a secret rare, remember. The card proper actually came out in Evolving Skies, so we do have a ruling, but it shouldn't be terribly surprising. We've got Solar Revelation. That's the one that prevents all effects of attacks other than damage done to any of your Pokemon with energy attached. And let's say you've got Turtonator's Shell Trap attack. That's the one whereby if you damage it after they've used Shell Trap, you've got to take a whole bunch of damage counters. 8 to be specific. Do you still take the damage counters if you've got energy attached and an Espeon VMAX in play? No. Solar Revelation prevents all effects of attacks, and Shell Trap's damage counters are an effect of your opponent's attack. Moving over into attacks then, we've got a new Cloyster in the set. It's got the rather nice Aqua Spit attack. It's one I'm a little bit of a fan of. And what it does for 2 energy is 60 damage, and it also does 30 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And to be fair, we could use the exact same ruling for Rillaboom. And to be fair, the FAQ specifically does, because Rillaboom 180 damage, and it also does 40 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Can I split the damage, or does it have to be 30 and 30 for Cloyster, 40 and 40 for Rillaboom, or could I, for instance, do 70 and 10 with Rillaboom? No, it's got to be split evenly. It's got to be 30 and 30 for Cloyster, 40 and 40 for Rillaboom. Sorry. Virizion comes around in this particular set with the attack Bailout, and what that one does, for 1 grass energy, lets you put 2 Pokemon from your discard pile to your hand. Well, can I choose to put 0 Pokemon into my hand, even if I've got Pokemon in my discard pile? No. If you choose to do the attack and you have a Pokemon in the discard pile, you have to choose at least one of them, but they do note in the FAQ, and this is pretty important, you can always just not attack. You can pass the turn without attacking. There is no requirement you need to attack. Now, the most hyped card from the new set is your Mew V Max. It's got Cross Fusion Strike. For 2 colourless energy, you choose one of your bench Fusion Strike Pokemon and use that attack. Okay. Do you need to have the correct energy, or can I do whatever attack I like, even if I've just got 2 random energy? And you only pay Cross Fusion Strike. You ignore the attack cost of the copied attack. Even if it's less, remember, you still have to pay 2 colourless energy, but you only ever pay 2 colourless energy. And again, this is a case of, if you were supposed to pay the extra, you would be told. So a very similar card is, of course, Mewtwo and Mew GX, where the Perfection ability lets you copy attacks of GX and EX Pokemon, but it specifically says on the card, you still need the necessary energy. If you need the necessary energy, it says so. Otherwise, we can assume that you don't. Now, Excelgor is a rather interesting card that did make my top 20 list for the set. It's got an attack whereby if you were on the bench and became active this turn, you can do 120 damage for just a single grass energy, which incidentally is pretty good. Well, if my active was KO'd and then I put Excelgor up as my new active Pokemon, can I do Ninja Tornado for 1 energy? No. Because Excelgor says, if it moved from the bench to the active spot this turn, and you promote a new Pokemon between turns before your turn actually begins. And we've seen this on this exact ruling on a bunch of Pokemon, going back at least to Golisopod GX, which we've had a few cards recently that have had this kind of attack, but Golisopod really started it all off. And unfortunately, this is the rule, ladies and gentlemen. This is the rule. Now, Serena V comes in with Queen's Orders, another very interesting attack. It does a base of 20 and then allows you to discard any number of your bench Pokemon, dealing 40 more damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded in this way. Well, if I use the attack and discard a Stage 2 Pokemon, does that count as 3 Pokemon, the basic, the Stage 1 and the Stage 2? Nope. A stack of Pokemon, no matter how high, and in the past we've had Stage 2s that go into breaks, or level X's, and in that regard, it still only ever counts as 1 Pokemon. If I use Queen's Orders attack, can I choose to discard 0 bench Pokemon? Absolutely, you can discard any number, and 0 is a number, but at that point you'll be doing 20 damage for 2 energy, and unless you're getting a KO, might I suggest it's not the best use of resources. Moving over into trainer cards then, we have Adventurer's Discovery, a card that was annoying to get because it was a one-of in pre-constructed decks that sold out super quickly in Japan. Over here it's just in a set, and that is a good thing. It allows you to search your deck for free Pokemon V, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Can I search for VMAX or V-Union? Yes. VMAX and V-Union are a subset of Pokemon V, they always have been, and this is not in the FAQ, but if I may be as bold as to suggest, V-Star will be the same deal as well. Now, Cross Switcher and Cross Seaver are new cards that come in this particular set, and they can only be played as a pair. Cross Switcher, you play 2 at the same time and you get Gusting plus a switch for you, and Cross Seaver, you play 2 at the same time and you get to put a Pokemon or supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. And we've got the same ruling for both of them here. If I played 2 of them earlier in the game, can I play another 2 later? Because the cards say you must play 2 at once. Yeah, of course you can. The text, this effect works 1 time for 2 cards, means that you are only getting 1 effect for the play of 2 cards. It doesn't mean you can't do it again later if you have another pair. And finally, finishing off with Fusion Strike Energy. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's that ruling we had about Goodra with Slimy Room earlier, so that's the only ruling we need for that one, and that means we've gone through all the rulings. Shout out to the lovely folks over at Pokegym.net for providing these rulings. They are awesome, and they make our lives way easier by showing us these rulings, and I, for one, am pretty gosh darned grateful. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys. Which of these rulings are interesting to you? Which of these do you think you can take advantage of? Which have ruined your plans? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.